Are you into all that positive talking and stuff like that, like positive self-talk?
Not really.
Because it's there's some legitimacy to it for sure.
Is there?
Yes, yeah. If you can say positive things to yourself, then it's like your body knows it. Like you're putting it out into the universe, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, it's true. Like affirmations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a pretty positive guy, and I've never had any issues with everything working out somewhat for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that has to do with, like, you seem like kind of a smart guy too, right? You don't seem like...
I seem like a smart... No,
I
I don't know. I always struggle with that because I didn't do really well young and at school and stuff like that, but...
Yeah. Well, I think if you were to look at, like, look at everybody in Pembroke, right? All in the Pembroke arm wrestling team. Most of those guys look like they're the kind of guys that you try to get them out of the bar at 4 a.m. and they're just not leaving, right?
Yeah, there's a few of those. Yeah.
where you look more, I don't know, I figure you look like a stock exchange kind of guy.
I'm a cleaner cut Valley High hooker. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, I guess we'll get started.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so Mr. Allen, the Hitman Ford.
Hi.
Yeah.
So
Hello. I feel like I have to call you Mister.
Well, I'm pretty old.
Well, because you have the name Hitman.
Okay.
I kind of feel
so it's
like...
a respect thing. It's not because I'm old.
Yeah, a respect thing. We're not
good.
that old.
That's good.
How old are you? Like 42?
No. I don't know how old I am. I have this syndrome, right? Like Evan always tells people I'm 70 something, and I don't know. I think I'm 40, going to be 47 in the end of August, like 24th of August.
47.
Yeah. I might be 46 though, but I'm pretty sure 47. Wait, okay, I was born in 76. Do the math. Are you good at math?
Okay, sometimes.
I have to use calculator.
So you're like same age as Devin then?
Devin is a year older, I think.
Okay.
So is he going to be?
I think Devin is 48, right? Okay, so yeah,
it's pretty bad. I don't even know how
47.
old I am. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, man. Like I go about my life like I'm having fun. I don't care. I don't think about it. When I think about it, I don't like it. You know what I mean? You start thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking old. Oh, should I really be doing that? Maybe I should quit arm wrestling, you know?
No, don't say that.
No, then you see all the old guys that are arm wrestling, and you're like, oh no, fuck no, I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because literally Devin does look like he's like 10 years older than you. Like you look like 10 years younger. You look younger than me, and you're like...
Devin aged a lot in the last little bit. He's been really hard on himself. He really has, man. The guy's pulling his fucking brains out. Like you've seen the like not X-rays, but like the what do you call it? He had MRIs done on his elbows and shit like that.
Yeah,
You've seen them, man. He's got the elbows and bone structure or whatever of like a 90-year-old.
Yeah. Well, you got a scar on your elbow too there.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I've never that was bone spurs. Just too much torquing on my elbow. This is how I see it, is that you're always flexing that bone all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And your body's like, okay, heal. Little micro cracks or whatever. Nothing crazy, but like just normal stress. But that's the only surgery I had. So
what did they do? So it's bone spurs, so they cut it open, they like scope it and like clean it out? Or?
No, so what they were going to do originally, they were doing, they did a nerve block here, killed my arm, then they sedated me, and then they're going to do orthoscopic. They started out orthoscopic, and there was a piece that they couldn't get at, or was too big or something, so they had to cut me open right there. Right there. But it was good. It was good. There was some question marks regarding if it was going to end my career or not. At the time, I was like, do it. I'm like, right now it's slowing me down. I can't really do the things I need to do. So go ahead, do it. It's it was a bit of a gamble. I was kind of like, I've been there and done it, you know, that kind of stuff. And there was a little bit of a lull in arm wrestling in general around that time. And I'm like, I'm good. Do it. See what happens.
Is it before or after Wipeout?
This was after, yeah.
After
this was,
Wipeout.
Don't ask me what year. I don't know what year it was. Like probably like 6 years ago now.
Okay, it's not that long ago. Still
fairly
recent. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Elbow.
Yeah. Oh, and then I had the surgery,
Yeah.
and then, they're like, doing the exercises and stuff to get it back, and I'm like then I was like, "Oh, cool, I get to go out back on the table after, like, a month or 2 or something like that," and I'm like, "It feels really good." And then it just started getting a little stronger, and I'm like, "I feel great." Like, I had it just felt more there was no, I felt like a younger version of myself in my arm anyways.
Yeah?
Yeah, it
And
was good.
the left was never a problem?
No,
Just the right?
I never really focus on my left
Yeah.
at all. I don't care about it. It's just this other arm, I don't know what to do with it.
So what did it feel like? So when you first felt like something was off?
I did have a, not a good range, like, that's okay. After the surgery, it was a little bit straighter, but I was
Yeah.
getting, like, here-ish, I couldn't and it would just lock. I couldn't open it.
Isn't that a good thing though?
I don't know, it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I don't use it like that, but I
Yeah.
guess if I used it like that, it would be a good thing,
Yeah.
but
So was it like pain though? So when you got to here, it like would hurt when you would go past
yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I did anything, it would be like a hyperextension, right? Every time.
Mm.
So, no baseball. Not that I could play baseball or shit, but most arm wrestlers don't play baseball specifically for that because we all have a little bit of that. So when you throw, it's hard on the shoulder, and then it's hyperextension all the time.
Oh man, I find it's even worse for me because I couldn't throw very good to begin with.
Yeah.
And now that I start arm wrestling, it's like my really measly throw got cut in like half. So now it's like, but at least my daughter, we're out playing fetch with the dog. She still says like, "Oh, Papa, that was really far." I'm like, "It's barely further than yours." Like,
Yeah, don't say that stuff out loud.
yeah, no. But no, there is something like with like, yeah, when you're throwing now that because of arm wrestling, I guess it's the tension on the ligaments or something. It
Well,
does
because
not.
it's like a hyperextension, right? Because you're everything's tight in there now, and
Yeah.
so when you throw, you want that full extension. That's how you get that snap at the end, right?
Yeah.
Even that, I can feel it.
Oh yeah, still yeah. Even
Yeah.
with the surgery.
Well, it's tightened up now. That's been quite a
Yeah.
few years, and I've done a lot since. So,
So
yeah.
so where do you think you are now? You're probably what, like top guy in Canada, at like 205 ish.
I don't look at the rankings hardly
No.
ever. People tell me I'm pretty sure I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I dominated provincials and pretty much anything I've been to in the last couple years, anyway, except for that Adrian O'Dwyer, who
He doesn't count. He's from another country, right? That doesn't count.
yeah, he's a little bigger than I was hoping to,
Yeah.
but yeah, and had I not torn my subscapularis, that happened in the second round. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "What the fuck?" I beat him so easy the first round.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't even get a hit, and then I was like, powered him down. I'm like, I got this, no problem.
Yeah.
He made an adjustment, and I ended up a little bit further. And I guess maybe I put, I don't know, side pressure or something, and something popped. And I was like, that was weird. But whatever, keep going.
Yeah.
And then I just,
So,
nothing.
so how much did he weigh then?
They said he made weight, but I had to make, I can't remember now. Did I have to make 203? No, or 20. I can't remember. I think I had to make 203, and
Yeah.
I weighed in at like, sorry, 103 kg.
Yeah.
I think I weighed in at like 101.8, and he apparently weighed in the day before that or something like that, or earlier.
Oh, one of
Yeah,
those fucking
and I
things.
saw him on the scale, and he was already 106. So, he's like, if he did cut it off, he may have. I mean, the guy's an Olympic athlete. He probably knows
Yeah.
how to do it properly, but it was a little bit greasy, that part. But I
Yeah.
mean, he was really good.
Yeah.
I was happy with just being able to crack his wrist open, honestly, because
Yeah.
everybody there was like, "You're not gonna crack his wrist." I'm like, "That's what I do. I'm gonna crack his wrist," and thank God I did before anything else happened. So I was happy with that anyway.
So you had in the first round. It's been a while since I've watched it, but then the second round he stopped you, and then that was kind of it.
Yeah,
or-
it stopped me in and I was outside of myself, and he was in a really good position, so he had a lot more power there than
Yeah.
I did. I didn't have the holding power for him, and then that's when something popped. So yeah,
And do you have to get surgery or anything, or just
I
let it
don't
heal?
know, man. The freaking Canadian health system sucks right now. Really does, eh? Like, I went in, had an ultrasound. That took quite a while to get the ultrasound. Had an ultrasound finally to confirm that something was torn. And then, okay, like, we need to see a surgeon. Still waiting. How long has that been? Do you know when
Oh
that
my
was?
gosh.
I don't even remember.
I'm gonna
now.
say that was almost a year ago now, right? That's coming up.
Has it been a year already? Fucking
I'm
time
trying to
flies,
think.
man.
Well, is it or is it beginning of this year? It was either end of last year, beginning of this year.
I can remember what month. I think it was early fall or something that we went. I know the weather wasn't that great when we were there. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
trying to think now. But I'd say it's been a while, but no.
It's like 6 months or so. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Horrible.
Yeah, so it would have been the beginning of this year then. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like February or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I remember because Sean and Gerard and those guys, they went down there,
Yeah.
and I was kind of like debating. I was like, "Oh, should I go too?" And I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
But I had a bunch of stuff going on at the time, so I didn't. But after I heard some of the stories that I can't repeat, I feel like it would have been a good time. Yeah,
It was fun. It was
yeah,
definitely fun. Yeah, we had a blast.
yeah. But no, the healthcare, it's terrible, man. Like it really is. Like, so my wife, you saw that she was kind of hobbling around up top.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what happened.
Mm. So it was a dog actually. So
Hmm.
yeah, so she was playing fetch with the dog one day and wasn't paying attention. The dog came back and hit her right in the side of the knee.
Oh,
Like,
ACL?
so lucky no ACL, but patella and MCL. It looks
So
like.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So the crazy thing is I have a bit of a reference point because I think about 8-9 years ago I tore my MCL.
Oh yeah.
And I had an MRI booked within like a week or two of tearing it, and I saw a specialist within like a week after the MRI, right? So within under a month, I had an ultrasound the day of. So I tore it, went to the
Nice.
hospital, got an ultrasound. The next day they did an X-ray, and then the next week was an MRI.
Oh,
And then within the next week, I saw a specialist. They took a look at it.
that's
I
wicked.
got like it was awesome. Yeah. I had a brace and everything, but luckily it wasn't, it was only like a 30 or 40% tear or something, but it was good enough where I maybe needed assistance on my knee for like 4 months or something.
It's bad enough.
Yeah, it's bad enough, but it was still okay. So with her, when she tore it, she didn't get an X-ray or ultrasound day of. Like she had to wait weeks for that.
Yeah.
And then there was an indeterminate amount of time between getting an MRI. So they were like, "Oh yeah, we can maybe get you an MRI within like the next 6 months." And it's like,
Jeez.
and yeah, I was telling her, I was like, "Well, your knee's fucked, right? Like you need an MRI now. We need to see a specialist and figure this shit out."
Yeah, because you don't want to leave that stuff
Yeah.
for a long periods of time, for sure.
Yeah. So we waited like 2 months, and then it was like, "Fuck it, like let's just pay for one." So we went in Quebec. You can get assistance
Oh, I
for
didn't
like
know that.
MRIs and surgeries and stuff. You just gotta pay. Yeah.
Huh.
So I think it was just shy of $1,000. I think it was like $850 or something like that. We had to pay
Jeez.
to get an MRI in our free healthcare system. And then after that, it took another 2-3 weeks before she's able to see a specialist. So it's been like she's had her knee completely fucked for almost 3 months before like finally we can figure out what's going on.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And it kind of worries me, or it makes you think. We have free healthcare. It's completely booked, but if you pay, we can get you in right away. What is that? Do
Yeah.
they have like a reserve MRI machine or something? And like I don't understand. But they have people sitting like this is the group that takes the paying customers and everybody else is free. Do
Yeah.
they have that actually in Canada?
Well, it's like there's private clinics that do stuff, right?
Okay.
So they don't have those MRI machines. I don't think. Well, right now for MRIs in particular, I've talked to a few doctors and stuff now, and people that work in
Yeah.
hospitals. Apparently, there's a huge shortage
Really?
of like MRI machines. Yeah, so like they're getting more, and also if you look at have you been to a hospital lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's insane. It's insane. Like especially during the pandemic, I remember going to the Smith Falls one with my wife, and we'd be in there, and it's like there's no seating for people. It's just mobs
Oh,
of
man.
people in the waiting room, and it's like, and the people that are shrugging, I'm asking, is like, is this normal? And people that are just shrugging, like,
That's the hospital or like a clinic?
No, that was the hospital. That was the Smith Falls Hospital. That was about 2.5 years ago, I think,
Yeah.
or 2 years ago.
Wow.
And then, I was telling you, but we got our wells contaminated. So
Mhm.
when my wife was sick for that, similar thing. That was about a year ago. And then I think a year ago, like everything was good, right? Like nobody's worried about COVID anymore.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. So it wasn't even really an issue then anymore. Hospital's still totally overrun. Yeah.
Speaking of COVID, I was been driving around, traveling a lot, and it always amazes me how many people now just adopt masks, especially older couples. I get it, like, but like, honey, we're just gonna wear masks from now on. Anytime we go out of the house, we're gonna wear a mask or something like that. So I see like multiple times see people driving, two people in the vehicle look like an older couple, both wearing masks. Like you gonna contaminate each other, or are you just worried about the world? Like
Yeah, I don't know, man.
that sucks if you're actually that worried about it, or if you're just being like if you're worried about it, that really sucks. If you're just being cautious, I get it, but you know.
I think it's people that listen to a lot of news, especially like
Oh yeah.
particular type of news,
Yeah.
because they're still talking about it now, right? And now it's like it's not even just COVID; it's moving into like global boiling and this and that, and like so. If you're listening to a lot of news, they don't talk about good shit anymore because it's all about ratings.
Yeah.
So it's like when they have people like again, this is my interpretation
That's
of it
fine.
or my opinion. If they have people scared of something or worried, people tune in. So and the people that tune in, they're getting more and more like freaked out by everything that they hear, right?
Of course. Yeah. I don't watch the news, so I never watch the news. We have Netflix. That's it.
Ah.
Yeah, just Netflix.
And we don't have, we canceled our Netflix actually.
Really?
Yeah, canceled Netflix and Disney Plus.
You just
like,
off of TV altogether, or what?
I don't watch a lot of TV. The my wife does. We still have the Amazon Prime or whatever.
Yeah.
But like me personally, I don't watch anything.
Oh, good for
Yeah.
you. You're too busy doing this stuff.
I have no life. Yeah. No,
That's
like
a good life.
everyone every once in a while, like if there's like Game of Thrones, like I'll watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a season of like The Witcher or something, like usually what I do is I literally have like a list. Do you know what Trello is?
Trello?
Trello, yeah.
No, I don't know what Trello is.
It's like a task managing software, but it's free.
Okay.
So I have a Trello that's literally for like TV shows and movies. So if I have like friends or family that like talk about a show over and over and over again, and if I hear it enough times, I'll put it in there and then I'll
is that
check
like
it out.
is that like the software they put in the box? Like, you know, you get the little TV box. And
Oh
they put
no.
That
No,
just kind of manages everything for you.
no, this is just like it's for like grocery lists and tasks and stuff.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. So it literally just have a task list with like TV shows and movies to check out.
Huh.
And yeah, so I don't know why. I don't know when that started. I just slowly stopped watching a lot of TV.
Well, that's not good for you anyway.
Yeah. And the and my daughter still does and my wife does, but it's not too much. We don't watch a lot. Like we're paying for Disney Plus and Netflix.
Yeah.
And realistically, we were watching like a couple of things a month. And it's like, like what are we paying for this for?
Yeah. We don't really watch that much either. We watch like
Yeah.
a show in the evening and maybe a couple extra on the weekend.
Yeah.
Depending on what we're doing. That's
Yeah.
it.
And honestly, well, I gotta say, it's not that I don't watch anything because I do watch a lot of YouTube and shit.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah,
Well, not as much as I should because I'm not up to date on a lot of the arm wrestling stuff. People say, "Oh, did you see this? Did you see that?" I'm like, "No, actually, I didn't," and I feel bad because I feel like I should be watching this stuff, and I just don't have time. Like I got other priorities in my life.
yeah. And people, everybody's doing like long form stuff now too, right? So it's like, did you hear what happened? And it's like, I'm not gonna check out like 3 hours of Evan drinking to figure it out. You know, like
No, I don't do that either. No, I don't watch. I don't even watch. Yeah, I don't watch Evan.
no.
I to be honest with you, I don't actually like being on the show very much anymore. I'll go on for like a brief amount of time and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of different than what it started out to be. You know what I mean? They just bullshit and talk about all kinds of stuff. It's like drunk talking or high talking. And I'm like, I'm not high or drunk right now. So I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, he's still doing it. That's cool. He's got a lot of people watching it, but I don't think they're all arm wrestlers. Because it's not really that as much arm wrestling base as it used to be.
Yeah. Well, it's still, I think every time he has something, they touch on arm wrestling.
Yeah.
But I know that every time I've been on there, it goes to like, we talk about boxing and fighting and
that's what turned me off for sure. It was the WWE stuff. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. I know you're into it.
Me, no.
Oh, I thought you were into it.
No. Well, when I was like 8.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So I just never was into it. Also, I'm like, I think it's not real. Like it's fake, which it obviously is.
Pro wrestling is real. Okay.
Pro wrestling?
Pro wrestling. Yeah.
What's the difference between pro wrestling and MMA? Like real wrestling, like competition based wrestling.
Well, there's amateur wrestling is actually real.
Okay.
But pro wrestling. They should call it something else, to be honest, because it's not even really wrestling anymore, right? Like they're hitting each other with chairs and.
That's pro wrestling. So that's still not real. What's the difference between pro wrestling and WWE or whatever?
WWE is pro wrestling.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm just being an asshole. Yeah, no.
It's all bullshit. And Uncle John would freak out at me
Yeah.
if he heard me saying that. But
No, some people are super into it.
I know, like
Yeah.
super into it. I don't know. I'm not super into anything other than arm wrestling. Honestly.
So I got a question for
And
you.
I'm not even as into it as I probably should be. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of the stuff on YouTube and stuff. Like I'm not up to date on all the names and what's
No,
going
but you're
on.
still training all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Personally.
I think if you're training something all the time, I don't think you have to watch it all the time too. Like unless you're like watching it to study it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I have a match, I try to find everything I can on the guy and watch that. But
yeah. Because when I was competing in MMA, that was kind of the thing too. When I first started training MMA, I watched like a ton of footage on like everybody and all the guys I liked and like studied the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then same thing, like when I first started like arm wrestling and started getting to like really understand it, I would look up like footage of all kinds of guys and like see what they're doing. But now it's like I'd rather just train, and then I'm more interested in the guys that are like teammates and shit. So like if you guys have matches or any of the auto guys, or if Devin has one, like I'll check it out. But outside of that little bubble, I don't really watch a lot.
Yeah, no, me neither. Unfortunately. Then you got guys like Evan Burgoyne. His knowledge is crazy. Like if I ever want to, if someone offers me a super match, the first person I go to is Evan. I'm like, Evan, what do you know about this guy? Is it a good match? Should I? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you'd kill him. And he's not. I don't think he's lying. But then there's Devin. Anytime I'm with Devin, Devin's at an event, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I got Devin. If I need somebody, I need some advice from somebody. So I asked Devin. I'm like, Devin, what should I do with this guy? Just do your thing, man. I'm like, oh, thanks. I really wanted some advice, but just do your thing.
But that's kind of a good advice, though, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much pretty much the advice that most people give me. So that I guess that's good, right? I'm doing a good thing.
Yeah. So what, like when you're getting ready, what's your game plan usually? Your game plan is just to be kind of as quick out of the gate as you can?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I just want to be quick. Yeah. What's my game plan? It changes a little bit. I mean, like it depends on I do research the guy a little bit. I don't want to say too much, man. I got a match coming up.
Okay, that's right, yeah. So who's the guy, who's your match against?
Kirsten? I don't know how you want to say it. The tattooist.
Tattooist.
Yeah, he's actually a tattoo artist. So I don't know how serious he is about arm wrestling, but no, he's not.
Well,
I think he is.
Yeah. Well, this is at the Arm Wrestling Canada event. That's August 12th, right?
12th, yep.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
That's coming up next week. So this will probably air Sunday or Monday. It's Friday today.
Oh, this week? This weekend? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
wow, you're fast turnover. That's awesome.
It depends how much editing I have to do. So if you move away from the mic a ton, then I have to do more editing, and then it'll be Sunday. If you don't, then Saturday, hopefully. Yeah.
I move around a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. So far, I think it's fine. Yeah. But yeah, so you have the match with that guy August 12th. And so what's his background? Where's he from?
I think Italy.
Italy?
I'm not sure. I've talked to him a few times. Like personally, we've had messages going back and forth. He seems like a really nice guy. He's like, I don't know if he's playing me. You know how someone like Evan or Devin plays somebody. They were like totally trying to get into their head. Yeah. He's like reverse doing it because he's like, oh, I'm so grateful we have a match. It's such an honor and blah blah blah. I don't think I don't know if I'm gonna beat you or whatever, but it'll be fun. I'll learn, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great.
And here you're like, I'm super relaxed. I don't know if I'm gonna train anymore. This guy is so built my confidence up so much.
No, that's not true. I still train for that shit. Don't worry about it. But I mean, I like that too, but because I'm like that.
Yeah,
I think
you don't seem like one of those guys who's like going around talking shit all the time.
No. I give what you get. You give what you get me. No, you get what you give me. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, definitely, because I feed off the energy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so if he was to start talking all kinds of shit, then you'd amp it up too. Is that what you're saying?
And I have a hard time with that shit because I take it. Like it's serious, right? Like I take it seriously. I can't do what Evan and Devin do. And like when someone's doing that to me, it's real. And I'm like, I start getting really mad. Like for instance, have you ever seen the match with me against RVJ?
Yeah.
RVJ and I get along really well. The last time we competed, it was awesome. Like I kicked his ass first of all. But second, afterwards, we were partying together. We're both like doing karaoke together and stuff. It was wicked fun. I get along with him and talk to him all the time. Cool. That day I just want to fucking kill him. And he's like, he started with the lip, right? He's like, you fucking high hookers, teaching him tricks and all that shit. And I'm like, and then he beat me the first round and he was like, oh, you can't teach him anything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you fucker. And then so I smashed him the second round. I'm like, you could see it. Have you ever seen the video?
I've seen it.
You see it in my face. I'm like,
yeah.
fucker. I'm like, fuck you. I said to him right to his face. I'm like, fuck you.
You're like, frick you, man.
Yeah. And everybody's like, oh my God, Alan swore. Not that I don't swear, but it just it was really real. Like I'm not putting on a show. Like I just don't. And I'm like all my heart is out there all the time, whether it's good or bad. Like you hurt me, you're gonna know. You're fucking you're nice to me and I like you, you're gonna know. I don't have any enemies really, you know. I'm a good guy.
Well, except for RVJ that day.
That day, yeah. That's okay if it's brief.
Yeah. No, that was a good match. That was good. I think you have a pin on Todd Hutchings or something too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't like living in the past. Honestly.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
But I mean, yes, I have a pin on Todd Hutchings. I feel like there's more than one, but maybe it was just that once. But yeah, I was at a big cash event. Everybody was ready. Make sure everybody knows that everybody was ready for that event. And yeah, I smashed them. I loved it. Did you ever see the video? My most favorite video. So you go on the internet, you can't find video of it.
I think I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably one that I posted, and it was just someone recording, which was Evan and Ian Carnegie. They were recording it, and then they just recording the TV as they were watching it, and then I smash them, and then Ian Carnegie's like, oh my god, you did it, fucking, you're the man, Alan. Like, it's the best video ever, I think, because if you know Ian, you could see him doing it, right? He's just like so dramatic about stuff. So that was good. I really enjoy watching that over and over again.
Yes, I thought you just said you don't like living in the past, and now you're like, okay, well that one.
There's these moments, you know, but generally I'm like, yeah. Back in the day, I beat Todd Hutchings. Could I do it now? I don't think so right now. Todd is so fucking good right now.
Oh man, right?
Yeah.
So and that's next week too. The Todd Hutchings against. I
just saw a picture, but I don't remember the name either. We're horrible with names. We shouldn't be doing this.
No. Well, I just kind of a joke, right? Because Evan doesn't like St. John.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was John or someone else. Like that's out of the loop I'm in on it. Yeah. Because the way they had it set up, the poster, they had pictures all over the place. And I got multiple messages, people saying, oh, you have a match with Todd Hutchings? Because it's me and Todd, right? And I'm
okay, yeah.
I'm not going to say no. I mean, does that make you happy?
Yeah. Well, no, it's Hutchings against John Brzenk. So who do you got? Who do you think is going to win? Between
Hutchings and John Brzenk?
Yeah.
John hasn't done anything in a little bit, eh? Like he was go for a while, and then this is the longest break we've seen in the last year or so, right?
Well, he just had a match with Dennis Blinkoff,
where he got crushed.
Yeah, and then he had, I think, so he had Devin, and then did he have a match between Devin and Splinkoff? I think he might have had something in between there.
Oh man, I don't remember.
Yeah, but I think Splinkoff was his last one. So it's kind of, yeah.
Oh, yes. That's right. Didn't he not lose to someone else before that, too? Was he on a bit of a losing streak? I vaguely remember something.
Yeah. But he's going against, like, the top guys, right?
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's not, he's not losing to, like, just random dudes at a tournament.
So the reason why I'm talking about we're talking about John Brzenk is because where he's at is really what's gonna decide this, because Todd Hutchings is going to be fucking ready, because this is Todd Hutchings' shot right now. Like, he's gonna be so ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's probably why I don't watch a lot of stuff, but have you seen anything from him on any social media recently?
Not recently, no.
That's because he's closet friggin' training his ass off.
Well, and he's a fucking beast, right? Like I'm trying to think, who was his last match? Because I know he beat Irakli not too long ago.
Yeah, I know.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
And then I think he had like one or two matches since then, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Did I tell you Igor offered me a match against Irakli?
Oh yeah.
This was one of the first East versus Wests.
Okay.
And I'm like, I was talking to him like, yeah, I'd be interested, whatever, in a match. Who do you got? Like, because I don't have like a vendetta on anybody, so I can't just pull a name like, oh, I want a match with this guy or this guy. I don't know. I ask Evan, what's a good match? You know what I mean? But he's like, how about you and Irakli? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. He looks really fucking good. Like, and he was just starting, like, you were starting to see a lot of him, and he was just coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I wasn't 100% ready. I was just getting back into it too. And he's like, well, and then he's trying to pump me up, right? He's like, well, you have wins on Todd Hutchings and RVJ and blah blah blah. He's going on and on, and I'm like, yeah, that was a long time ago, and I'm not there yet. Like, I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. And so he basically, that was the only match he was going to offer me. And then I found out afterwards he did a little bit of he wants East to win, right?
Yeah.
So
well, you meant Ingen, not Igor.
Oh, I said Igor. Sorry,
I think you said Igor. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
Ingen, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Igor, I haven't heard anything or seen anything of him for quite a while either.
No.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting, right? Because I know, like, when I first started getting into arm wrestling, which was the beginning of COVID, like, he was doing all kinds of YouTube stuff. And
he was a major player in arm wrestling, and now I can't even remember the last time I've seen anything from him.
Yeah, now I'm thinking of it. No, not really, right?
Huh.
Because he was pumping like Levon and stuff like that at one point too, and now
he had a lot of big names going on.
But I guess Ingen's the East King now, I guess, right?
Yeah, maybe he just realizes he can't compete with that. Like, I don't know, Ingen's got some revenue stream that's allowing him to do that right now, and Igor probably doesn't want to compete with it because it's just going to cost him more money, right?
Well, yeah. Well, you should have a match with Irakli though. You should. Why not?
I just feel like things are going to break. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's things you have to do to get ready for something like that, right?
We'll see what happens after these 2 super matches I have coming up.
Oh, 2. Okay, so you have. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you have the Arm Gods one too, right?
Yeah.
And that's
September 30th.
30th?
Yes.
I thought it was 20th.
30th. It's my event. So
okay, yeah. I'm not gonna argue with you. Yeah.
This date I know. September 30th here in Ottawa. Actually, no, it's gonna be in Quebec, just on the other side of the river.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't find a good place in Ottawa that was like relatively cost efficient.
Yeah, everything's expensive. Like all the
Insane.
big venues. I have a few friends of mine that do like events, like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and MMA events and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've heard of some of the venue costs, like Lansdowne stuff, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, so we're flying all these people out from London, right? England and Ireland, and they want to be downtown Ottawa. That's where the stuff is. We're gonna go in the out. And so I was planning on something a little bit on the outskirts, a little quick from the airport, not whatever. And he's like, no, we want downtown and like in a hotel, one-stop shop. I'm like, okay. Started looking, and oh my God, man, like one of the highest ones was like, because especially these guys coming from Ireland, they're like, yeah, we get a portion of the bar and all this stuff, and like, we'll make some money from it to pay for everything. And I'm like, that's not going to happen here, especially downtown. And so they're going about the thing thinking that the venue is going to be free, right? No. The place I went, the hotels were like, I think like about 300 or just under 300 was the deal. And then the actual space, they wanted 10 grand.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, we had to spend a minimum of $7,000 some dollars with bar and food. I'm like, we can't do that.
Yeah. No, that's not unheard of. Like that's probably on the lower end of things too. Like
that was not the low, it was the highest one.
No, but out of the bigger venues, like, and if you're looking at like Lansdowne and stuff, it's more.
Oh yeah. Yeah, stupid. So we got a good spot though. This place is good. 5-minute walk from Parliament buildings, stuff like that. So it'll be good. Yeah, the hotel rooms are nice and cheap, and yeah.
Okay, so what's the venue then? What is it?
It is going to be at the Four Winds. I think it's called Four Winds. Four Winds.
Four Winds. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So if it's what I'm thinking, that's like. You go straight across the bridge, and then it's on the right-hand side, I guess.
Yeah, it's just by the museum. What's that one museum? It's all kind of curvy, round.
History, I think.
I think it's history, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's right by there.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. That'll be, excuse me.
It's a sweet spot, especially for the price, especially when you compare with the other places we're like.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
So that's like, I guess, four or 5 weeks from that match. So you have the match at Arm Wrestling Canada
Next weekend.
and then Arm Gods right after that.
Yeah, I'll have a little bit of training time and then back to resting again.
Yeah. And what's next after that?
Nothing.
Rackley, East versus West.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, Igor won't give me a match now. Now because he did the Sorry, Engin. Why do I keep saying Igor? Engin won't give me a match now because then he has the qualifier, right? So it's like, whereas earlier it was a little bit more flexible. Now it's like, oh,
yeah, but you still want a match, I guess. I'm sure they'd give you something.
Yeah, I got nothing in the works though, and I kind of like it like that. I'll just wait till something pops up, you know.
Yeah, or maybe RVJ.
Yeah, I'd have a match with RVJ.
Yeah, I think that's the one to have. That's the one to make, I think.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
blast from the past.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be good because he's talking all kinds of shit, and he's my favorite natty roid raging arm wrestler. Yeah,
I like RVJ.
He's a good dude.
I haven't been really watching, but have you seen stuff on him? Like I thought he went really quiet there for a while.
He did for a bit. Like he did have a match at I think it was the last East versus West or the one before that. I think he had a match on, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember who he had it against.
Me neither. I don't even know that I've seen it. All I know is that he lost.
Yeah, I'm feel terrible right now. Wasn't Iraq? He didn't have a match against Iraqli.
No,
it was somebody else.
No, and I don't remember the name. I'm not real super familiar with all their names. I'm horrible with names. Just so everybody knows, I am horrible with names. Do not be insulted if I don't remember your name. People come up to me all the time like, "Hey, Al." I'm like, fuck. Immediately I get like stressed right out. It's horrible. Especially worse when I have my wife with me, right? Because I'm like, I want to introduce her and I want to have conversations with people. I can't remember your name. Hey, bud.
If you have your wife with you,
yeah.
It's the best time.
Just introduce my wife. Here's my wife, Allison.
Happens to me all the time. Like it's like, oh, Allison, yeah, I'd like to introduce you to. And you look at the person, you're like,
yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, it's George. And you're like, it's George.
I got that down pat. I definitely do that. The good trick.
Yeah. No, I'm terrible at that too. But it was Zurab that his last match. Yeah. Well, he's a fucking monster too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tore fucking Curtis's arm.
Yep. Oh yes. Yep. Yeah, no, I don't think so. RVJ just getting back into her with a match like that probably wasn't a good idea. He's lucky he didn't get hurt, actually.
Yeah, because I think that was his first match back for a long time, right? Like before that, I don't think he'd done really much. And then he's going against a guy that he's like fucking legit.
So levels have risen big time, right? So for instance, me right now, I would crush any version of myself, I think, now. And it's not that I'm that much better. Or no, wait, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, everybody's at a different level now. It's like, I feel bad for some of the people that are getting into the sport. Like, you don't want to, you see all these people online or like these super matches and stuff like that, and you think you got a shot and you don't. Not if you not fresh out of the gates at all. You got to put your time in because the levels there's big levels to this.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've got to, again, I'm still a noob, right? So like, it's funny because when somebody's at like a certain level, I can't tell where they're at, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I can't move this guy,
right?
And then it's like there could be a guy who's twice as strong as him. It's like, well, I can't move him either. So like, I don't know. To me, they're the same, but like the levels are like when somebody's so much stronger than you, it's almost impossible to tell by how much they actually are, right?
Yeah. So I hate that. So people that don't make facial expressions, I hate because you have no gauge. So as you know, you're in a match with somebody and you're like hanging in there and you might have a little bit of an advantage on them or something like that. And like when they stone face you, you're like, oh fuck, man, I'm putting all this effort in and it's probably for nothing. So maybe I should just lay down and save myself for the other matches. You don't know that you could be just like this a hair away from beating that guy. But if they don't show, then you're fucked. So I like when they show, because then at least you got something to go on. But yeah, you could be so close, and you just it's hard to tell. It really is, and the different levels.
Yeah. See, I was told this in one of my martial arts teachers, like way back in the day, was like never show like that you're tired or that you're working hard or whatever. So it was one of the things when we were doing like we would do our regular training was like Muay Thai or whatever, and then after we were done, we'd still do like cardio, but he'd like point at people if you're like showing that you're tired.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things I was taught when I was a little kid is just to like, yeah, never show that you're tired.
It's definitely it's just definitely something that would help, because when you're in that moment and you look up at the guy and he's shaking, you're like, oh, I'm gonna give it. You somehow from somewhere you get this little extra spurt of energy, and that's might be all you need to finish the match.
Oh yeah, because I find when you see somebody's hurt, and this is arm wrestling and this is all combat sports, like when you see somebody, there's something in your brain that's like, all right, time to turn it up a bit, like time to fucking end it. Yeah.
And you could feel like you're maxed right out, but all of a sudden you'll get this little extra burst of energy, like, I'm gonna do it. Ah!
Oh yeah, look, I've definitely had that before, where it's like you're tired as hell, but then you see the other guy is also tired, and then like you're saying, you get a little bit of extra. It's like like a video game, you get the flashing health bar or whatever, right? Like,
oh shit, I better hurry up and go find some health somewhere. Yeah. No, it's a fun sport, man. I love this sport. I really, really do. I don't think I would have ever been in it this long. And it's not just the sport, it's the people too. There's some great fucking people in this sport. I don't know why, if they're drawn to it. Like there's a wide range of classes of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we all have like this common thing going on. And I think the thing that I like about it the most is that you can lose to somebody, or I can lose to somebody, and they'll come up and tell me how to beat them. Like, we'll have a conversation like, next time you should try this and this. I'm like, oh fuck, thanks, man. Like, I mean, not so much, I don't want to say my level or at a higher level.
The pro level is less of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But like your general, most tournaments and stuff, you go up against a pro even in those, and they'll tell you afterwards, be like, hey man, like try this and this and this, and you'll improve a lot. I like teaching, actually. It's hard when Evan's around, because nobody can hear me over him. He's just so fucking loud. But I'm actually a really good teacher. Like, and I can break it down. Like I've showed you a few things.
Yeah, you showed me a few things I use all the time. Yeah.
So I like that. I like seeing a lot of these guys that I've put some time and effort into doing really well. Like Brandon Mulvihill. Like he was this little kid when he showed up at our practice, and I saw potential in him, and I'm like, I started teaching him because of his long arm and all that stuff. I started teaching him exactly what I do. I'm like, this will work so good for you. Sure enough, I'm not taking all the credit. Like he had a lot of people training him, but like definitely makes you feel good though. He's come a long way, and he's real good.
Well, and he's obsessed too, right? That's a big thing.
Yeah, he's putting the time in. That's what you got. You have to put the time in. It doesn't matter. Somebody could teach you all the fucking tricks in the world, but if you don't put the time in to strengthen yourself to do that stuff, it won't work.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is I find like, I guess I'm an older guy too, but a lot of the older guys in the sport, especially guys like you that have been doing it for a long time, is you build like this ligament strength that I don't think there's any way to fast track that.
I don't think there is either.
Yeah, and a guy like Brennan's super young, right?
Yeah.
What is he? Mid-20s, late 20s?
Mid. I don't remember exactly how old. To me, he's still really young, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was like turning 20 or something, and he was like 25 or 20, whatever. I don't know exactly what his age is, but
he's been doing it for how long now, you think?
He was a teenager when he started. I can't remember exactly what his age was. I feel like 17 or something like that.
Okay, it's probably close to 10 years then.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
When you speak like that about like how many, like large amounts of years, like I was talking to Evan one day, and we're like, holy fuck, we've been arm wrestling together for like 12 years already. I'm like, what? There's no way.
Yeah. Even me, like I've been doing it for I think 2.5 years now, and I feel like it was only like yesterday. Like I don't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, it's a big blur. That's why I can't remember. Like, people ask me questions about all these matches I've had, and so I don't fucking remember, man. I'm just worried about the next one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that. I've won that. Yeah, sure. I beat this guy before. You
Oh,
know,
such a humble guy,
I,
eh?
I
Such a humble
am and
guy.
I'm not. Like, I do turn it on sometimes. I access that part sometimes, a little cockiness shit, but really I am very humble, honestly. Like, I don't know. I don't see the need to do the other stuff.
Well, I think
But I appreciate the people who do because it's
yeah.
fun to watch, right?
No, I think in order to take the sport to like a certain level, you need people, right? You need like characters.
Yeah.
And if you're just somebody who's just kind of like being humble, even though if you're like the best in the world, but you're not like putting yourself out there, you're never gonna get the exposure that the guy below you does.
Yeah.
You know, you like look at Anderson Silva, right? UFC.
Yeah.
The guy didn't really do much of anything.
Right.
And then you look at a guy of like Chael Sonnen, who wasn't at his level, but he was making way more money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was way more out there. Like you ask guys now, even though Sonnen's retired, you ask them like guys who just getting into MMA now, like do they know Anderson Silva? Or do they know Chael Sonnen? They're like, oh yeah, Chael Sonnen, I know that guy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. So I started doing YouTube. I did it for like a year. And I'm just done, man. It's a lot of work and not a lot of, I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And so, and I did it kind of for a purpose too. So I was, again, I was supposed to be part of that Iron House thing with Neil Pickup. And he offered to me the first one. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know if I was ready and stuff. And like, there wasn't like, I'm about the free trips, right? You're going to fly me somewhere. Fuck, I'm there. I don't even like, yes, I want to get paid, but that's not the be all and end all. Free trips are awesome and awesome matches, cameras in my face. I love that shit. So he has a bit of a different approach, but he wanted you to pay your way. He wants you to invest in yourself. Right. So,
right,
which I get, and it's good.
Well, if you're putting on an event, in my opinion,
yeah,
it should be at your cost. That's
fair
my
enough.
opinion.
Fair enough. No, you're right. But he was the one that was like, well, you know, get on YouTube, like start doing the social media stuff and get your money that way. Because when he advertised, he made it sound like, you know, when he does his advertisement, you're going to put it on yours and it's going to blow you up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I get it, but I didn't do it. I don't know. I started doing it actually. I did start doing it, but I didn't.
Yeah. We got the cool intro.
I know. I liked it.
Did you put that together? Or did you get somebody?
I made a couple different intros. I had fun. Actually, I used to edit videos before too, like way back in the day. I had another YouTube channel and I lost the fucking password to it. I couldn't get onto it. It was before Google took it over. So I couldn't recover the damn thing.
I have the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have another YouTube channel. I should actually talk to somebody that has a connection with YouTube because I have a bunch of videos on there I want. They're like old skateboarding videos when I was like a little kid and shit. And I
don't know if you can get them. Unless you get the password. You can screen record them. I had to do that for my
Well, no, a lot of mine
videos.
they're private. So they were never like listed.
Oh.
But I know that they're still there.
They're
sitting there waiting.
Well, private, you can find them, right? And then you
No. They're like private, but like they're locked. Like they
okay.
Yeah. So the channel still exists. Like it's still up. Like you can go there and see like there's like videos of like my kid and stuff on there. And,
yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Like I think I got an email one day saying that they're deprecating these like old accounts and you have to like link it to a new Google account or something.
Oh.
And I think I ignored that.
Oh shit.
And then like now I just can't log into it. But it's still there.
Wow.
It's still there.
Yeah. Oh well. Again, living in the past, buddy.
Yeah.
Just make a brighter future for yourself.
Yeah. Well, YouTube's interesting because
it is.
I have a ton of videos that I never put up.
Really?
I have so much.
Like this one after you're done?
Yeah, no, I'll put this up. This will go up. This will go up.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I have like tons of shit. Like I have I did like a camping trip through Algonquin Park. We did Algonquin Park for like 9 days.
Yeah.
And I have this really cool thing. It's like 90% edited. And it's like I don't know, just sitting there. I just need to finish some stuff and put it up. And I have a ton of stuff like that.
Yeah,
just sitting there.
I do too. So I was doing non-arm wrestling stuff too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you know. Did you know that I made like a mobile bar like out of a horse trailer?
I don't know this. Go
So
on.
I do a lot of renovation shit, and I got into the habit of like recording it and like doing like a speed thing or whatever, you know. I was like, because people do that, right? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then when my wife and I got married, long story, we ended up instead of buying or renting a bar or whatever, we ended up I built. I took a horse trailer. Literally, it was full of horse shit. We had to take that out. We basically tore it down completely, and I built it back up again and made it into a mobile bar for a wedding. And then
Dude,
we
that's
were,
awesome.
yeah, it was, it's pretty cool. It's nice.
And you have a video of you like putting it together, making
Yeah,
it?
so much video of it because
And you have it on there, so, like out?
no, I didn't put it out. I made like an intro for the channel, and then I was like, I had the debate of like, do I put it on my channel or do I make another channel, right? And like, I make another channel, I got to start from scratch, and then I got 2 channels I got to manage. If I put it on my channel, then I'm gonna probably lose a bunch of arm wrestlers, right? I didn't know how to go about doing it, so I didn't do anything. And now
you should just put it up there and just call it like arm wrestling bar, mobile arm wrestling bar. Yeah, whatever, whatever.
Just say something about Devin in the title,
or like
that people will watch it.
Yeah, Alan Ford makes arm wrestling bar. Devin Larrett.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, you should. You should put that up there.
Maybe.
You can even just say like arm wrestler makes mobile bar, hey, and then just like show everything.
Maybe.
Whatever. I think that's awesome.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I got a bunch of videos, different renovations I've done in the house and stuff too. So I don't know. It's just about time, you know?
yeah.
Time.
No, I started my YouTube channel to do like, well, originally my original one way back in the day was just like skateboarding videos and shit.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing this one, I started doing like all kinds of random stuff. So I had a bunch of like tech product reviews and stuff, but they're super cringy. So I think I took them all down. They're so bad. They're so bad. And then I had a company with a buddy of mine, like swap.com. And then I had the idea and I was like, you know what? I'm going to like journal like our whole process of like doing the startup stuff. So like literally when I quit, because I quit my full-time job with like no idea of how we're making money.
Oh
sort
shit.
of deal. Yeah. So
That's
I literally have a video. And that one I think is still up. You can look and find it. So I literally quit my job, and the business was like making periodic money here and there, but like not enough to live. But like we had an idea where like we saw all these other people that are doing startups, like they're quitting their jobs to do it full time. And we're like, fuck it, like this is what we have to do. So we just quit our jobs and like fucking bless my wife, like she's so supporting. But like, dude, we were like this close to like losing everything. Like every week, dude, we were
holy,
and we had employees too. So we're like paying employees with credit cards, and then like it was insane. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to journal it. So I made a video talking about how I'm quitting my job to do this full time. And then I did make a bunch of like video blogs or whatever, but I never posted them because like as I'm like showing what's happening, I'm like, it's like, man, this is just showing some guys who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're just about to blow everything up like every other day. You know, I was like, I can't put this online, so I never did. But part of me is like, maybe I should have.
There actually probably be a lot of people that would appreciate it, right? Even just like learning what not to do, you know what I mean? Or
yeah, I know for sure.
Because there's a lot of failure isn't a bad thing, man. You learn so much from failing.
Oh, dude, yeah, 100%.
More than you learn from succeeding. If you succeed all the time, you're not going to learn as much. That's why I'm a slow learner.
No, well, it's because you're just successful all the time. Yeah.
Like I win. I never did anything with that video yet.
It's funny though. It's
funny. Stupid.
No, it's funny. I think it's good.
I'll put it up.
Yeah, you should.
What was I going to say? So I'm not tooting my own horn, but I really did get into the sport, and I was winning right from the beginning. Like I always placed like top 3 in almost every event I've been to. So it was really hard for me to get motivated to train hard. Do you know what I mean? Like I was happy. I'm winning. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then you get to the next level and you train a little harder and I'm still winning. So did I really need to train? I know it's weird because, you know, you're working your ass off to try to get to where you want to get to. And like a lot of people, but I believe there is some people like myself, I think, just good genes or came back by it naturally. Like right from the beginning, I was really good at arm wrestling, and I didn't have to work really hard. So it was a big struggle, and like, sob story, but this is a little fiddle. but I didn't have to work hard, and it was hard for me to get motivated to train hard for something. And that's why that's why I was waiting for the next thing. And then by waiting, I ended up screwing myself because nobody knew who the fuck I was because I wasn't doing anything. And then it was a vicious circle. It was hard to get going again.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting because you do see people that like kind of like yourself where they're just like, they just have whatever that is, right? Whether it's the ligament strength or the speed or like a combination of a bunch of things that are just like, just really good out of the gate.
Yeah.
Whereas like when it comes to like other sports, I'm pretty good like naturally. When it comes to arm wrestling, I'm like bottom tier, man. Like all the things you need to be good at arm wrestling, like I don't have. Small hand, short arm, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
but you're strong. Like, man, you're good. You're getting really good, especially for, you know, for how long you've been doing it.
Yeah.
You've improved quite a lot since you started.
Well, yeah, when you start at 0, right? It's
it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah,
You got to focus on that positive stuff because you're taking steps in the right direction where you want to go. So
yeah, but you know what? It's interesting because at certain tournaments, like I feel like I've been doing okay, and then well, I guess the Arm Gods one, like it was Nico and that other guy. Like the level is like so different. Yeah, it's so different.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's part of the reason why we didn't have a lot of guys come out because they thought, oh, this is a qualifier for like super matches and for like guys flying over. So it was like, that's too serious for me, or like the level's going to be too high because they understand that there is the levels there.
Yeah.
But you never know, man. And that's the thing. So that works both ways. For me, like you never know, right? So I go into a tournament and you'll see I'm like one of the most scared people there. Often I'll be like, oh shit, so-and-so's here and so-and-so's here. I'm like, oh fuck. And I like to be a little bit scared because if I'm not, then I lose. I get cocky and then I don't win. So I like to be a little bit scared and it keeps me on my toes. Yeah.
So where were you just now? Where are you coming from?
I came from where was I? Winnipeg. I was in Winnipeg.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know, I wasn't with you.
It was for work. Yeah.
So what do you do for work, anyways?
I can't talk about it.
No, you actually can't.
Well, I'm a hitman.
Okay.
So I had a job to do in Alberta. No, I'm just kidding. No, I work at Canadian Nuclear Laboratories.
Okay.
In Chalk River, and they have sites in different places. And my current job is I'm a subject matter expert for digging, drilling, cutting, and coring.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a long story.
So I didn't even know this. I had no idea.
Yeah. So our site at Chalk River is huge. There's like 4,000 employees there, and I don't know how many buildings, 100 some buildings, and like I don't know even. The property is humongous, like 7 kilometers just to get in from the main gate to the main place. So there's a lot of construction going on. They're taking buildings down, putting new buildings up, and so I'm involved in all that stuff to make sure they dig safely and properly and follow the rules, and yeah, basically.
So where is your expertise? Is mostly in like the digging part, or is it more in like
how I got that job was before that I used to do all the utility locates on site. So I'm the guy with the little thing spraying paint on the ground to show where everything is in the ground. So yeah.
So you're like exposed to radiation at all ever?
No, people think that it's not like that. You're so safe working there. They
maybe that's where you get the arm wrestling power from.
Maybe.
Yeah, you see a little radiation.
You just made me think about shit. I'm not gonna be able to remember his name. Anyways, another arm wrestler from back in the day, which I haven't seen him in a long time. I fucking can't remember his name. Anyways, he worked at a nuclear place. I don't know which one, but he's like, yeah, I used to go in this room and just like, it was so warm in there. And he'd be like, and I think he was standing beside the nuke, you know, like.
Stop. Really?
I don't know.
Really?
He was pretty strong, but I heard a story. Anyways.
So the guy
it's not like that.
No,
it's not like that. It's so regulated and stuff, man. And like, I have to carry it's called a TLD. So it monitors how much radiation I'm getting all the time. And it has to be, it's like less than what you would experience in your regular work day to day.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah. They keep you very safe.
So I need less radiation.
Radiation's not a bad thing.
Well, some
So
of it is within
right,
levels, right? Yeah.
right, but it is necessary. It has its purpose. I
Yeah.
don't know all the details. I just know that.
Well, I know that apparently like bananas have like a high
Yeah.
radiation level or
Yeah.
something.
Smoke detectors.
Smoke detectors
There's
too, yeah.
something in those. Yeah, we remember using them when we took our training. Yeah, something in them that puts out radiation.
So I have a buddy of mine that I grew up with. His dad used to own some sort of like repair shop.
Yeah.
And he had like this like radiation measuring tool.
Yeah.
And one of the big things he was doing was like he's working on microwaves, and he would test the radiation from the microwaves. And I guess he found out that if you're whatever microwave's on and you're within like whatever it is, like a foot,
Yeah.
the radiation is almost nothing once it gets past. But the radiation is really strong
When you're close.
when you're super close to the microwave.
Yeah.
And he was saying, and I don't know if modern cell phones are the same way, but the cell phones we had at the time, the radiation from a cell phone was like 20 or 100x that what it was
From the microwave.
from a microwave.
Oh,
So like,
shit.
which is crazy because I think he was saying it was like the first inch and a half of the cell phone. It's like the radiation is like way more powerful than the microwave,
Yeah.
but as soon as you get out of that zone, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
So I remember when I was a kid, like when I grew up back in the 80s or whatever,
Yeah.
microwaves were pretty.
Back in the 60s.
No. No, I was born in 76. So, but 80s, you know, I grew up. I used to have my face pressed against a microwave waiting for my cheese to melt or whatever.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
me
mean?
too. Me too. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else.
But no, there's different types of radiation too, right? Like I don't think everything's equal. Like I don't think the radiation you're getting from like a microwave is the same as like a nuclear reactor or something, right?
So yes and no. I'm not gonna go into the details of it, but
Yeah.
like cell phones should not be against your head. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
Even the guy, you ever seen any of this stuff about the makers of cell phones? Or I don't know specifically which one, and I can't remember names, but they're like, they wouldn't even put them against their head. Like,
Yeah.
because like what you said, the radiation is really close to there is pretty bad. Like the electromagnetic fields and all that stuff. It's not good for you, man.
Yeah. No. Well, I think X-rays is kind of a similar thing too, right?
Yeah.
Actually, funny. So I had an X-ray taken once. So you know when you get X-rays taken, you get like I don't know, it's like a lead thing to cover a bunch of your body or whatever.
Yeah, your junk.
Yeah. So I had actually, I think this is when I tore my knee.
Yeah.
So I was getting X-ray done of the knee, and then the lady who put the lead thing around me, right? She didn't do it up all the way. So like as she leaves the room, the lead thing fell.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, the thing fell. Like, do you want to fix it? She's like, no, it's fine. And they did the X-ray, and my fucking balls tingled for like 3 days.
For real?
For real, dude. Like 100. Maybe it was in my head, but like I can remember like when I left there, I was like, okay, something doesn't feel right.
Oh no.
And I remember driving home, and I'm like, man, my balls feel weird. It's like I feel like there's something.
And then they fell off?
No, they're still there. No, they're still there.
No, it's hard to say if it's actually something that actually did something to you, or if it's in your head though, right? Because like your mind can fuck with you pretty easy.
Because I'm like, all right, I have this like whatever 2-inch thick like lead thing there, and it fell off, and the lady's like, you're fine. And then they did the X-ray thing,
thick.
and then maybe it's in my head because I'm thinking, I'm like, there's no way that's fine. Like, why would I have it there? Why would they just do it? And if it was fine, like,
Yeah, they should not have done it.
No,
It's more to protect you from being able to, so you can have kids, because it can literally sterilize you.
okay, well, good
Just
to
so
know.
you know.
But I had a kid after this. No,
But I would
yeah, it was after. Yeah,
I would imagine it would take a lot more than that, and that's why she wasn't concerned about it.
Yeah, but still, dude, like,
Yeah.
but like, honestly, legit, it was like 2-3 days where my balls were like something. You know when your leg falls asleep?
Yeah.
It was like that, but like inside.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
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 That sucks. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, me too. I still had a kid afterwards. So like obviously it didn't sterilize me, but yeah.
Okay. And your kid's okay?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no, my daughter's super healthy.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
good,
she's
good.
good. She's good.
Good.
Mm.
Don't want any.
No, that's cool. So I didn't know that. So do you go to like the actual power plants in specific, or do you just deal with like
So no, I'm just digging. Really,
Okay.
it had nothing to do with the nuclear aspect of it, other than
Okay.
when they are digging up nuclear, like underground piping and stuff like that. Honestly,
underground nuclear piping?
well, they have different things that flow into the ground, like different drains and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
drain pipes and ventilation pipes and stuff like that they have underground because the ground acts as a barrier, right? So
Like an insulator, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
natural, but lead is the best way. Like if something's really hot, they put lead around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so is lead like the best insulator, or is there other things that are like?
Think so.
Yeah.
I think so. They might have something better now. I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but
So
definitely lead.
So what's your day to day then? Do you just go around like digging stuff up, or
Right now, I'm just looking at all of the paperwork and stuff that of different jobs. I go and walk down to see what they want to dig, how they're going to do it, and break it down. Make sure the paperwork's all done properly, and then I make sure people are digging safe properly, so they
Okay.
don't hit something. Because we've had some incidents.
So tell me about those.
Just with it's usually more often than not, it's just like operator error, basically. Like, okay, really, you want to talk about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, I do. Yeah, no, I'm interested.
So the safest way to dig anything is I could take you anywhere without getting locates done. Locates meaning locating the infrastructure underground, right?
Okay.
The lines on the ground. I could take you anywhere. If you dig properly, you won't hit a thing. You won't damage a thing.
Okay.
So how you start is you dig a hole. You're digging a hole. You use a shovel, and you with hand shoveling, not with an excavator.
Okay.
You hand shovel it like a crosshatch. Okay, so you dig a trench in an X pattern down, however you feel comfortable, a foot, 2 feet, if it's easy to dig, and then the excavator comes and clears that away at that depth, and then you do it again, and then it clears it out, and you do it again. Keep doing that. That you won't hit anything because you'll find it with a shovel, not with the excavator.
Yeah, so you're less likely to damage whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So anytime there's been anything hit, it's because that process wasn't done properly. Or the other thing that happens often is that when the excavator comes and scoops, they scoop outside of that. They maybe go a little bit outside of the dig zone.
Okay.
And then they hook onto something and break it. So
yeah.
Basically, I'm trying to make sure that all happens properly so we don't damage more infrastructure because.
So you're more like supervising the process then, I guess, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, generally. Yeah.
So you're that guy who's like, no, don't dig there. Or when the guy's about to put the digging machine, you like jump in front of the machine, like all like theatric, like
yeah,
no.
Like, exactly. That sounds
there
great.
You go.
Yeah, that's me. No.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know. That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway.
So do you have like a secret clearance or like top secret or anything like that?
I started out there actually as security.
Yeah.
And their security there is literally like, well, part of the security there is like a SWAT team.
Okay.
Like literally they have shotguns or no rifles and like drive like basically a tank around.
Interesting.
So that was fun. That's probably one of the harder ways to get into that job. And then they hired me as a casual worker.
So did you get to drive the tank?
No.
No.
I didn't make it that far. They hired me as a casual worker, and because until you get full time, right? People move because often those guys will go off to a police force or something like that because it's the same shit.
Okay.
And they overhired, and I went like 9 weeks without a shift, and I'm like, I can't do that. I left a full time job for this part time job in the hopes that I'm going to make more money, and I couldn't do it, so I ended up taking a job in a tool crib. Just handing tools out and signing them out to people.
Okay.
And I got bored of that. And then I started doing the utility locates. And then I made that like way better than it was and bigger than it was. And they wouldn't pay me anymore. So I was like, are you sure? Because if you don't, I'm going to leave. They regretted it. I left. I ended up leaving. Because when you move around internally, they can hold you for a period of time. They held me as long as they could because they didn't want to lose me because I was the only guy on site that was doing locates at that time. So yeah, I left that, and then I was a planner, and then I had this opportunity. So now I'm back to the digging stuff.
Okay, right on. Yeah. That's actually a good career advice. If you want to make more money faster, is to jump from job to job.
Absolutely, it was the only way I was going to make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's like that with almost every type of career, and like. People don't want to do it because it's comfortable to stay in one job and you have like your retirement plan or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you actually want to increase your salary, like pretty much with me anyways, most of the times was, when jumping from job to job, it's very hard in some places, depending where you work, to actually move up. Like some places are better at hiring internally.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays, you don't see a lot of like people starting at the bottom, moving their way up through companies anymore. I feel like something's changed in like the last 30 years where That's not as common.
I don't know. I don't even
Yeah.
like the fact, like my son goes to go for a job and he can't. Nowadays, you can't even like. So when I was a kid, I'd get my resumes made and go hand deliver them, and often I'd put it right into the hand of the person that was going to
Yeah.
hire, and that was my interview. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That's how I got the job. I'm like, oh hi, Mr. So and so, whatever. I'm looking for this and blah blah blah, and they know who you are and they know that you know,
Yeah.
and you get the job. Now you're just a fucking email and you're on a pile of, or if they even print it out, it's on a stack, and yeah, people have to do something to get seen, and I don't know what you do nowadays.
I'll tell you this: every job I've pretty much had, it's always been non-conventional, where it's like I knew somebody that was there, and then I got recommended and went through the chain.
Yeah.
I've done a ton of interviews through my life, like again, like random interviews from like random companies I've submitted stuff to. But all the places I've ever been hired at, it's all been because I've known somebody. And
you gotta push back. You gotta fight the system.
Yeah.
Because they're all going towards that, right? Like we're like, oh no, you have to fill out this online and that's how you apply. I'm like, no, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll do that, sure. But then I'm gonna show up at your fucking doorstep and be like, here's me, look for my resume, here's another copy in case you lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know about other jobs, but I know when you're dealing with like IT stuff, if you're like a programmer,
yeah,
a lot of jobs now, like even at the lower tier where you're not even getting paid that much, they have like these like programming tests and shit and like assignments that you have to do beforehand, and some of them can take multiple days to complete.
Holy,
it's fuck. I only ever did that like once for a job, and then I did the interview, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're like the only person that completed this." And as I'm in the interview, I'm like, no shit, it took like 18 hours. Like, who the fuck is doing this?
And who the fuck's paying me for this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the company, but this was like long time ago.
Did you get the job?
They offered me the job, but then they offered me the pay, and then I just walked out. I was like, this is insane.
You didn't like counter offer and be like, if you can do this, I'll take it.
It was so much less than I was currently making. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not gonna.
Sucks.
Yeah, no, it was. Anyway, again, maybe I'll tell you after we're off the podcast. I could give you more details on it.
Yeah.
But similar situation where I had a friend of mine that worked there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you should really come here and this and that." And I'm dumb, and I never like it was. They're doing interesting stuff at the time, technology wise, but I never discussed the pay with them at all. I figured that they were making quite a bit more, and so I submitted my resume, and it wasn't through him. I just random submitted, and they gave me this like code test to do. I passed that, and they gave me this assignment to build this thing. So it was all using like web technology. It was like, yeah, like build this, blah, blah, and then submit it by this day. And then if we like what you did, we'll do an interview the next day. And I was like, okay. So I literally like stayed up for 2 nights straight because I'm working a full-time job.
Wow.
Stayed up 2 nights straight, built this fucking thing, and then submitted it to them. And they're like, yeah, great. You know, interviews will be tomorrow. So then literally I'm going off 2 days, no sleep. And I'm doing an interview, like just amped on caffeine because I did this stupid thing. And then in the interview, they're like, the guy was like, yeah, I'm really impressed, like with your resume and this, and you're the only person that we interviewed that I was able to like finish the assignment and this and that. And then they started going into the details of what they're working on. I'm like super interested now. I was like, yeah, this would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna mention the number, but it was a very underwhelming amount. And I'm like, yeah, like this is like almost half what I'm making right now. Like,
question on that: the assignment that they made you do, was that actually a job? Do you think maybe they got you to work for free?
No, it wasn't. Because so they sent me what they got me to do is I can't be too detailed because otherwise it'll out what the company is. But they essentially had a video of like a user interface of like things flying around and things moving and it working the same way. And the assignment was like recreate this.
Oh, I see.
So it was something that they already had in their tool, like in their software that they're building.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to see if you could look at it and then recreate it kind of without knowing what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I literally recreated the thing like 1-to-1. Like I said, it took me like, I'm going to say like 2 full evenings where I should have been sleeping. So I would say like 7-8 hours each. So probably about 16-18 hours.
Because you're like reinventing the wheel, man. Like literally. Here's a wheel. Now you invent it.
Yeah. And the big caveat is you couldn't use any pre-made or open source libraries. So like all the code you wrote had to be 100%. You had to build it. So you can't depend on anything. That was another.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I mean that's a good test, but they should have paid you for it. You know what I mean? Like they should have been like, here's the amount of money, and it should have been like awesome.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of programming jobs, they're doing stuff like that now, where the interview program, especially if you want to work for like Google or Facebook or any of those companies, they have
Mhm.
like multiple stages
Hmm.
of like interviews and tests and assignment, like all kinds of stuff. The
I know my mind went to negativity, like, oh, here, invent this or develop this, and it's like actually something they're trying to work on, trying to figure out. We're like, oh, we'll get some fresh blood and do it for free. It's
yeah.
like you get hired, get a job at McDonald's. McDonald's wants you to invent a burger. Next thing you know,
Could you imagine? That'd be awesome. It's like, yeah, you want to work at McDonald's? You have to come up with your own burger.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, good. Thanks for coming to the interview. You're like, burger's awesome. like,
we're gonna put that on the menu next
Ah.
week.
it's like maybe that's how they got the ribwich or whatever it is, right?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't eat at McDonald's.
Never?
Well, I shouldn't say never, but I hardly ever go.
No.
No.
I try not to, but like,
It's not real food,
it
dude.
doesn't matter. Doesn't
I
matter.
know. I get it.
Like a Big Mac. I don't know what like a Big Mac is like my favorite thing. Like
Yeah.
I try my best, not like maybe like once a month,
Okay.
but I don't know
That's not
why.
bad.
It's just something about it. It's like, fuck yeah. Like this is what it's like to live in the scum of the earth, right? Like this is the bottom, and I'm loving it.
You want to know why you're loving it?
What's that?
Because they put crack in it.
Oh, probably.
Something, man.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's like the old days when the Coke had cocaine in it.
Is that true though? Is that a real thing?
Apparently, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not that. Yeah.
It'd be
I
good
don't
if it did. They should bring it back, right? They're remaking movies.
Old
Remake
school
Coke.
Everybody's drinking it for some reason. Just fucking
Yeah.
running marathons and shit.
Mm. Hey, so your match. So you have 2 matches coming up. So your match next week. So what's your prep like? Like when you're leading up to that?
Nothing. Just resting.
Just resting?
Oh, like what do you mean? How leading up to it?
Yeah.
I just went to practice. I would just go a little bit harder. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know a lot about him. Like I know that it seems like he likes to hook. Seems like he's pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
Seems like he's an up and comer, so he's gonna want it real bad. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
So do you do more like weights or do you do more just table time?
it's all table time, man.
Yeah.
I'll add, like, if I really want to push a bit, I'll add some weight stuff in there, but I really want to leave it all on the table.
Yeah.
Like I go hard. I just basically stay on the table, all practice, and let everybody beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been out to Pembroke. I gotta get out there soon.
Yeah, you used to come all the time.
I should. Yeah.
I don't even know where we're having practice right now. The one club. Did you ever go to the bike club?
Yeah.
It closed, and they're supposed to open up another one, but now we're just at one of the guys' garages.
Oh, so they're not
That's all
going
right.
back to the biker club again?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't think I think I've only been to that place like 2-3 times. Like I haven't been there a lot.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Gone. So sad. Yeah.
So sad.
Why don't you go back to what's the guy's house you guys were doing that before?
He moved
Oh.
in that shitty old garage. I loved it there. Honestly,
It's good. It's
I know.
good.
I loved
Yeah,
it there.
yeah, yeah.
And even Evan's like, yeah, that was shit. I'm like, but I liked
No,
it.
man.
I liked it. I liked the dynamic. Like it was a little bit smaller. Everybody was involved in everything that's going on
Yeah.
and cheering or whatever, just talking shit. It was good. It was
Yeah.
fun.
No, you guys had good vibes there, man. I remember
Yeah.
being like the first time I went there is when I just started arm wrestling, and
Yeah.
I guess Curtis had a match with Evan. I think that's what I
okay.
was there for.
Yeah.
And then Razor had a match against Matt Carrier. Would that be his name?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I was like, this is what arm wrestling. This is what high level arm wrestling matches are like. And that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, because Devin was saying, he's like, yeah, these are like really high level matches, like on the way there. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Yeah, it's cool.
In a
But it's-
garage that's like basically
yeah.
hot boxed.
It's 100% hot box. yeah, no, it's yeah.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, you're like I don't smoke a
I was
lot of
like,
weed, but like
Man,
I feel
I
awesome.
could arm wrestle real hard in that garage for some reason. It was fun. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you smoke weed?
I do.
Yeah. Like a lot?
No, fuck.
No.
No. It's so funny because I went to Winnipeg, right? And I'm like, oh, my off time, I'm gonna smoke a little weed. It's just me. I'm gonna smoke some weed, watch TV, crash. So I go into the weed store and I'm like, I just want one joint. She's like, just one? I'm like, yeah, I'm cheap. I'm like, I take a couple hauls off it, I'm high. Like, I'm good. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you have any? And he said, well, most of them come in 3-4 packs or whatever. And I'm like, well, I just need it for like 4 days, so I'm good. So he gives me one, and it was like it was a pretty big one. I like smoked half of it, and that was a lot. Like, I don't smoke a lot at all. I ended up leaving it for my neighbor. He's up in the middle of the night making noise and shit like that. Like, out, so the hotel I was at, I could actually pull up to my room and open the door. It's not a motel. Like, we were on the base, we were on the base floor, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the last couple nights, I had to switch rooms. And the last couple nights, he was there was just hanging out in his crib. And I noticed there was a bunch of darts there and stuff. So like, last night. That was last night. I smoked some weed before I went to bed, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? I'm not gonna throw it out. I just left it there with the lighter for him, right by his his ashtray or whatever.
You leave a little note with a little heart on it.
No, I
too.
didn't.
Yeah, I know.
And like literally 5 minutes later, I look out and it's gone.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's enjoying it.
Somebody got it. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, you pick up a joint, you have no idea whose mouth it was in or whatever. But
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I hope it made someone's day.
It's
So yes, and in relation to arm wrestling, fuck man, like, I can arm wrestle so much longer when I smoke.
Yeah.
Or when have secondary smoke. Like, I couldn't believe it once. Like, because I don't usually do that. Like, Evan and I have been like discussing this for years and years and years. Like, I always bring my water to a mat, like a practice or whatever, and Evan always brings beer. And I remember even back in the early days, Evan, we were like, beer, water, back and forth. So I was always, I'm there to train, man. I'm not here to party.
Yeah.
So then one thing led to another, and I ended up smoking some weed while I was arm wrestling. I didn't have to drive home or whatever the reason was. And I'm like deep into arm wrestling already. Like, my arms are probably getting tired already. Smoke some weed, and I find myself back on the table again, and I'm arm wrestling. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still fucking arm wrestling. I feel good. Like, my arm feels great, and I'm like, woo. So I think it helps with the pain, which is what people use it for, right?
Yeah, for sure it does. Yeah.
Anti-inflammatory, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
So
maybe I gotta start doing stuff, because I'm really, when it comes to training for sport or anything, I cut everything out.
Yeah, you're similar to me.
Yeah. But I think, like, we like jiu-jitsu, for example. Like, pretty much all the high-level jiu-jitsu guys I know, always smoking weed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's big in jiu-jitsu, too, yeah.
I heard about it, like, years and years ago, before it was legalized and stuff like that. There was a few arm wrestlers like, oh, yeah, I smoke weed. I smoke right after or before or during or whatever. And I'm like, really? That's fucking weird. It was just totally, like, that's not for that in my head. This is quite a few years ago. So my mind was expanding slowly, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, maybe, you know? I don't know. It works.
Yeah, no, I think, I think everybody reacts to it differently too, right?
True. Like, I don't know how, because I've been doing that probably, like, just my wife and I on the odd night will just go out and have a couple, literally like 2, maybe 3 little like puffs off of a joint, and we're both high.
Yeah.
And I'm still like that. I don't get how people can smoke multiple joints and be functional.
Yeah. Well, I think one is like a tolerance thing, right?
Yeah.
And some people are just built different.
I guess.
Yeah. Because like me, if I smoke weed, I can't do anything.
No?
No. I'd like, if I was going to practice and if I got high, I wouldn't practice. I'd be like, why am I here, man? Let me just chill. You know?
So I'm not a chill kind of guy. So when I get high, I actually get more energy.
Okay.
I'm like, woo, I'm partying, and I'm like, I'm happy as fuck, and I'm talking like crazy and like laughing. I have a great time. I'm great.
Yeah. So me, I'm the total opposite. Total opposite. Because I was gonna do a podcast with a buddy of mine a little while ago. We'll have him on eventually. But like, he was like, yeah, we're gonna just get really high when we do the podcast. I'm like, I can't. Like, I literally won't be able to. Like, I'll smoke up with you. We'll do a 15-minute one maybe. That'll be it.
You just made me think. I should have brought. I have these gummy bears at home.
Okay, yeah, like THC gummies.
No, they're the hot ones. You ever seen those?
Oh yeah,
I got 2 of them. I could have brought them here. We could have done them together.
Oh, I would have crushed that for
Would
sure.
you honestly?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Evan won't even touch it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like unbelievably high.
I'll show you my cupboard before you leave.
Oh, cool. So I might have found some because they're sitting in my cupboard. I'm probably not going to use them.
Yeah. No, I have like, I went on this like thing a couple years ago where I was like, I'm just going to try all these crazy hot sauces.
Yeah.
So I watched a YouTube video where this guy was talking about how most people only experience flavors of food like, only like 40% of the flavors are out there. And I was like,
Yeah.
what does this mean? What does this mean? And the guy's talking about like all these spicy foods where people can't taste the food because they're not like used to the spice. So all they taste is the hotness. They don't taste the flavor.
Right.
And like, like you could tell I'm a little bit of a thicker guy. I was like, I like food. I was like, yeah, I want more flavors. So I started like
Cool.
building myself up by buying different tiers of like hot sauces. And it is true. Like there's foods that are super spicy that when you kind of, I guess, like adjust your palate or your palate gets used to the hotness,
Yeah.
that you taste a different flavor in the food.
Oh.
But I started to overdo it and I started to get like
Ulcers?
no, luckily no. Like
Okay.
I have heard story. Actually, I have a buddy of mine who he got something like that
Yeah.
by eating hot sauce on an empty stomach.
Oh.
And but I've got like some sauces that are like stupid. Like one of them I had to sign a waiver, which I think is dumb, but
To buy it?
yeah, which is like useless. Because what if I just buy it and then get somebody else to eat it as a joke, right? What is that?
What was it? Was it the source? The only shit I know about hot sauces is from Evan, and like he used to do like a hot wing thing at his house all the time. You ever been part of one? Yeah, he doesn't do them anymore because I think he lost it or I don't know what happened.
I think I might have been there one time with Devin and he had like wings or something, but I don't remember there being.
So he used to have a
anything hot.
mini fridge full of hot sauces,
Mhm.
right? And he would like everybody would chip in and buy a pound of wings, and then he would just have a bowl, and everybody would throw a wing in if they wanted in that round. He'd put whatever hot sauce in it. He would start off low and work his way up. It was really cool. I want to do a YouTube video on it, and I've been telling him I was going to do it if he doesn't. And he doesn't do it. So he doesn't have half of his hot sauces anymore. Anyways,
I have enough. We'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll bring some out there.
It'd be cool. And I'm not really good with hot sauces, but I would do it for that, just for fun. But he has the one that's called the Source. You know what that is? Is that what you're talking about?
I have ones that are way worse than that.
Worse than the Source?
Yeah.
The Source is like 9 million or something. Yeah, like 7 million.
Yeah. Well, there's
Scoville.
what's the one that? See, the thing is, the Scoville it matters, but I have hot sauces that are like under 1 million Scoville that are way hotter than ones that I have that are like whatever 10, 13 million or something.
Is that like the bomb?
The bomb sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of those ones that it's like the Scoville unit. It's
like
in
2
there,
or
but
300,000, but it's
the worst.
Yeah, because it's an extract. But then I have another one. It's called like the Bomb Ground Zero or something.
Oh, really?
Which is like double that one.
Shut up.
Oh yeah.
I watch the hot ones all the time, so
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
So and then I have a scorpion pepper one, which is pretty hard. I have a black mambo one, which is like really bad. I'm trying to think, what's the worst one I have?
I'm getting these gummy bears to you.
Yeah. I'm
I had
down.
to buy them in the
I'm
States, and like they're really hot.
Yeah.
Really.
No, I'll eat them. Well, you know who's really good at taking hot sauces? Which I think he cheated somehow.
Who? What?
Frickin' Devin.
Really?
Yeah, I made a bunch of wings.
I had no idea.
Me, him, and Auden ate them at his place. Yeah, I have a YouTube video.
Oh shit! I
eating
didn't see it.
Yeah. But I made it like I think I made like 3 or 4 of them. But the last one, like I put like a mixture of like the worst sauces in it.
Yeah.
So the way I'm trying to remember now, I think at the beginning I made a really custom sauce, right? So the first few were just a couple of the lighter sauces. And then I just took the same sauce bucket and I just kept adding more hot sauces.
Okay, yeah.
So the very last ones were a combination of like all the hottest ones. And like it was stupid hot. Like really like I thought I could handle hot food. And that was the worst ones that I've ever made. And I was at Devin's place, like dying. Like Jody's like giving me Gatorade and sugar to stop. And dude, I was like seeing colors. Like it was really bad.
Oh shit.
And Devin's just sitting there like, yeah, it's pretty hot. Yeah. And then Auden ended up running away at the end. And,
I bet.
And yeah, Devin just sat there and didn't drink nothing the whole time.
Holy shit.
So I feel like part of me feels like he cheated somehow. Like this guy.
How?
I don't know.
If there was a way to cheat, I think they would have figured it out on the hot wings, right? Like, or was it called hot wings?
Hot
ones.
Hot ones. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know they've done a lot of experiments of different stuff and people trying different things like oils and friggin' yogurts and milk and ice creams and.
I've heard of things like I remember going on Reddit one time and looking it up. Yeah. Actually, I think it was after Devin ate them, and I was like, he must have cheated somehow. So it's like he must. I don't know if he did, like, but he's just a mutant, I guess.
Well, I mean, Devin's not known for being fair, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I remember looking it up on Reddit or something, and there was a subreddit that was all talking about all the different things. People were talking about like putting wax in their mouth or something. there was one that was like chugging a bunch of Pepto-Bismol or something like that.
Huh.
Like, and there's all kinds of things people could coat their stomach, like oils they can drink and like coat their stomach with that allows you to like have it
Interesting.
better. So there are ways to cheat, right?
I'm
There's
sure
definitely
there
ways
is.
to do it.
You gotta want it real bad to do that, though.
Yeah, like whatever. But yeah, no, I'll show you some of the ones that I have. Do you want to
Cool.
try some before you leave?
No, I'm not really. Well, I don't know. I'll smell them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah,
It's-
my wife, she can't take hot sauces at all,
No.
and I'm a piece of shit. And I got a new one that was really really bad. I told her, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. And then she
Aw.
smelled it. She's like, oh yeah, it doesn't even smell that bad. I'm like, yeah, just try it. It's okay. She just takes a
Dude.
little bit off the lid and she put it in. And the look she fucking gave me,
I bet.
I thought she was gonna murder me. I was like, oh fuck, I better not sleep tonight.
That's
She
a-
was under the sink. Like,
That's a cruel joke. It's
Yeah.
like it's right up there with drugging somebody.
no, drugging somebody's way worse.
I
That's
don't
way
know,
worse.
man.
That's way. Hot sauce goes away after like a minute, right? Like,
A minute.
well, some of them.
Some of them.
Some of them last a little bit longer. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I've always been really interested in them, but not a huge fan like of when it gets real hot. Like
Yeah, there's levels.
it's like why?
Yeah.
know?
But the thing is, once you start, if you buy a couple, eventually you just get curious, right? And you're like, oh, let's try some.
Well, I guess I've come a long way. I used to think I never used to use even Frank's.
Yeah.
I thought that was hot, like when I was a kid and stuff. So I love that shit. I put it on everything.
Yeah, Frank's is okay. Frank's is okay.
I love that shit. But
Yeah.
you're at another level now, right? So that's why Frank's is like,
No, I don't, a lot of the crazy hot ones, I don't put those on like food all the time. I'll just do it if I'm doing, like if I'm making wings or I have a bunch of people coming over
Yeah.
and people want to try some spicy foods, then I'll like tempt fate a little bit. But most of the time I stay like in the middle.
when I was a kid, my first job was I was a dishwasher at a little restaurant, and then I started cooking shortly afterwards. So, and long story short, I ended up at a place where they cooked so many fucking wings. They had a wing night, and it was like insane. It was like a multi-floored restaurant, bar, whatever. And we'd have suicide wings, and people would get those all the time. And I always made them because I'd make them better, because I'd douse them in sauce, and then I'd put them under the salamander, and I'd douse them in sauce again, and like I don't know what I did. I was just like, but people were like, the people that liked suicide wings were like, yeah, these are really good. They were fucking hot. Like, I'm like, awesome. And then so then I was like, oh, maybe I can make my own. And I remember making one once, like at a Scotch Bonnets or something like that. And
Okay.
like, I don't know what I did, but I worked at a bunch of different restaurants, so I'm sure I was doing it properly. But anyways, yeah, I've always really been interested in it, but probably more just to see people fucking
To see the faces?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The faces of death.
not for me, for everybody else for the show. Yeah.
It is fun. And you know what's really fun? People that like talk a lot of shit, like, oh, I can eat all the hot sauce in the world. Like those people, it's like, okay. Yeah.
You know who's really funny to watch eat hot sauces that will do it? Mike Smith.
Oh yeah?
Oh my God. Yeah, he'll do it, and he'll be like fucking jumping around and stuff, and like, yeah, but it keeps going because he's like not a quitter guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's in it. He's in it to win it.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
So question for you. How did you get started in like arm wrestling, and especially with like the Pembroke guys? Like how did you meet up with all those guys?
How did I get started in arm wrestling? It's
Yeah.
a long story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me the medium version, I guess.
Small kid, a young kid, like I think it was like 12. They used to have a winter carnival every year where I lived in this small town in the middle of nowhere, and they had arm wrestling in it. So I went into it, and I won.
Oh yeah?
Basically, yeah, right from the beginning.
And you're beating like adults?
I don't remember who I was arm wrestling. The only one I really remember is this older girl. I thought she was really hot, and she wanted to arm wrestle me.
And you're like, crush you.
No, I'm a gentleman, right? She wanted to arm wrestle me, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's arm wrestle. And I was worried because she's a lot older than me and big, right? Like bigger girl, like not fat, but like just she's older. Anyways, and she like, okay, you ready? And I'm like, yep. And I don't know if I said go or she said go, and then she kissed me, and then she beat me, and I was like, that's the only one I really remember. It was interesting.
Was there tongue
And I've
involved?
been hooked ever since. But I don't get any kisses anymore. Not
No.
that I want them.
Yeah. Everybody in Pembroke right now is doing this. Like,
No, I think Evan's tried once or twice before, but
yeah.
because he's like that, you know.
So essentially, you just gave everybody in the future the way to beat Alan
Yeah.
Ford.
Yeah. No, don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, please. I wasn't trying to start anything. But yeah, so from there, my family moved again to another small town, and just happened to be my neighbor was a kid my age, went to a different school, but his uncle was an arm wrestler. So his name was Neville Beachy.
Neville Beachy.
Yeah, from like Trout Creek area outside of North Bay. So we started going to his house and practicing, and he was teaching me some stuff, and I was good. So he wanted to start taking me to tournaments, and I just started winning. Like
Cool.
again, I was always like top 3, almost all the events I went to. So I remember all those guys like Troy Eaton and everybody else. That's the only name that came to my head at the time. But like yeah, even Devin way back in the day, he was we called him the army guy. Every time he showed up, he'd have like his army pants. I was just tall, skinny fucker.
Did you ever beat Devin?
No, never. Actually, not. I remember one year I thought I was going to, but then he ended up beating me. But again, like the skill level has changed big time. Now it would be different, but anyways.
Now you know the secret move. You just got to kiss the person and you can pin them. Easy.
No.
Easy.
So that's how I started, and then so I never. Then I ended up in Pembroke area.
Yeah.
No arm wrestlers around at all. I was interested. I think I still was going to the odd tournament here and there, but there was nobody to pull. So, and then there was an event that I think Devin and Eric put on at the base. It was like right at the gym. Like it was like they have a big, huge foyer, and they had it right in there.
In Dwyer Hill?
No. In Petawawa.
Oh, in Petawawa Bay. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
PMC, not PMC. What's it called? Now you got me all screwed up.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyways, they had an event there, and I went and watched, and Ian Carnegie was there, and he won his class. And so I went up to him, I'm like, hey, like we want to pull a bit, like I can teach you a few things and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, sure. And I was just kind of just holding him, and he fucking hated it. Like he's trying and he can't beat me. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know? So from there, him and I ended up getting together and starting like a group, and he was grabbing from the military, and then shortly, like a few years later, he asked me if I wanted to bounce. He worked at a club just in Quebec. There's a club that a lot of fights happen there. It's called the River Club.
The River Club?
Yeah. Do you know the River Club?
No.
Anyway, it was just in Quebec too, so you get all the 18-year-olds and shit. Anyways, they needed somebody, asked me, I go, we're sitting down at the table, and there was quite the amount of, they had quite a few bouncers there.
Was it right across the bridge?
Yeah, not far. Yeah.
Did it change the name to Living Room, maybe?
Like now?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called now. It's not a bar anymore, like not a club anymore. It's more of a restaurant now.
Okay, it might be the same place I'm thinking, but I think it was
So
called
there's a place
Living
called
Room.
DeBose. It's like a place where everybody goes to get their alcohol, just on the other side of the border, and then right next to that is the River Club.
Okay, I'll have to look it up, because if it's the place that I think it is, it might have been called Living Room for a while.
Oh, maybe.
And it was like really bad.
Yeah.
Like
there was a
really
lot
bad.
of fights. Like fucking Evan could tell you some stories. There was
Yeah.
some horrible fights there. But anyways, so that's where I met Evan, and then similar thing. I would Ian and I would talk about arm wrestling all the time, and Evan was there, and he was interested, and then I would just hold him and talk to him, be like, oh, that's good, it's good.
Oh, so you were in arm wrestling before Evan was?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about, man? I've been arm wrestling since I was 12.
Okay.
That's like 30 some years.
Okay, yeah.
30. Holy shit, there's a lot way more than 30 now. We're getting close to 35.
Almost as old as I am, right?
Off and on again, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
So when Evan got involved in it, then it really blew up, because he's got 5 brothers, plus all these other friends, roofers and shit, and they're all like, "Yeah, let's fucking drink and arm wrestle." It was another excuse to party too, right? So, so he had a really good group, and we just kept going, and Evan got really good at it, and now we're here.
Yeah. No, that's fucking awesome. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you met Evan in Quebec technically then?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I did, yeah.
Yeah, but you guys did live in the same town then. You guys did live both in Pembroke.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, good old days.
The good old days. Yeah. So and then I guess the current iteration of like the Ottawa Valley High Hooker Club, like when did that start? Was that kind of right then and there?
What do you mean with the current? Well, Evan just developed. Evan made the logo and stuff with somebody and all that, so he did all that shit.
Okay, so
Yeah,
okay.
he created the Valley High Hookers, like the actual name and stuff. Before that it was Ian and I and a few guys. And remember, did you ever see anything with MLA?
MLA.
Major Arm Wrestling League?
I don't think so.
So Ian developed that. Ian had some pretty big plans and great ideas on how to make the sport bigger and stuff. And he started putting on his own events. He had one, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to remember now. Names again. And I should be able to remember. Okay. I should remember this guy's name. Arm wrestler, biker dude from the States, wears glasses all the time, big beard, big guy.
Oh,
I always forget his name when
he had a match with Derek Smith a little while ago.
I know, and I was there, and I can't remember his fucking name. Like I know the guy. I'm pretty good friends with him.
I know who you're talking about too. I feel like a dink. I should know the name.
Shit, I was hoping you were gonna come up with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ian put on an event,
yeah,
and with Devin against him, like in Toronto, and then like he had a few other good super matches too. Like, so he was trying really hard. Just didn't have the follow through, I guess, or didn't take off.
Well, different timing too, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the time.
Oh, yeah, that was before even UAL, I think. Yeah.
UAL. I don't think I know UAL.
What?
What's UAL?
Ultimate Arm Wrestling League? You don't know who UAL is?
No.
I was a big. You never. The match with me and RVJ was UAL.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I've seen a bunch of matches and stuff, but I don't. I'm watching them on YouTube. A lot of them don't have like the organization and stuff.
So a guy named Robert Drink from California ended up. He had some money, right? So he liked arm wrestling, so he started putting on events and wanted to make a run of it, and developed UAL. UAL still exists. Tim Brezen, yeah, Tim.
Sorry, I cheated.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, he developed UAL, and it was fucking awesome. Like, I went the UAL route, and that was just right around the time WAL started. So I hit one WAL event. I didn't do well, and I didn't like the rules, and I was like, no, I'm going UAL because it's the proper rules, and I liked it because it was flashy, and like he was putting on wicked events with the freaking girls and the cards, and like he wanted it to be a UFC of arm wrestling, right?
Okay, yeah.
Or UFC of arm wrestling. But then he fizzled out, so I was like, fuck. And then WAO still was around, and I couldn't get in there because I was like, whatever. Anyways, yeah, there's been all kinds of cool leagues that have come and gone, and I'm hoping now I'm with Arm Gods, so hopefully Arm Gods they got a good plan for the future for them.
I think so. I think the vibe, because I talked to Marcus once on the phone, and he kind of explained to me what they're trying to do, and I was like, yeah, like I think that's the way to go. Like, make it more of a spectacle and make it more like, like make it not like as how do I say it, like proper. That's, you know.
Did he let you in on his real plans?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if we should say.
I know we definitely should.
Yeah.
And I hope it all comes to fruition. Like they're talking about it now, and from what I've seen, what they've done with the website, and like they're going in the right path.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully they got the follow through, and it actually all happens. Because I'm like hoping. I'm actually hoping. My wife and I. Speaking of leaving your jobs and stuff, my wife and I want to leave our jobs, and we're gonna buy a fucking trailer and go live on the road.
Fuck yeah,
and travel.
Do it.
So
become a gypsy.
Yeah, she's got a coaching it's hard to explain. Somatic healing.
I don't know.
It's like counseling kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Thing that she's doing a course right now. She's very good at that stuff. She's very into it, so she's gonna run with that. Hopefully she's going to have clients, and we could do that from anywhere. And then I was going to do the plan for Arm Gods. So I'm going to go do that.
And then you could just become one of those vlogger or video loggers.
Yeah, and then I'll have to get back on the YouTube and all that shit. But I'll have the time to do it. And
then you can have that video where it's like, sold my house, got a trailer. Come along.
You go for the trailer tour?
Yeah. Why not? MTV Cribs, come on, check it out.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, and the people eat that shit up, but I don't know about arm wrestlers. That's the thing. I don't know if I can take a YouTube channel and cross the two.
I think if you had like a trailer and just had like an arm wrestling table, you could literally just travel around and like arm wrestle random people, right? And go to different clubs and shit.
That's what I'm planning on doing. Even to the point, I don't know if we're there or not yet, but it'd be really cool to actually charge for training, one-on-one training.
Yeah, it's
like nothing crazy, but like literally, look, we're gonna have like a focus. We're gonna this time is for you and I, and we're gonna break shit down, and we're gonna teach you what you need to know, and you're gonna have homework, and then I'm gonna come back in a few days. We're gonna go over it again or add more.
And I think it's getting there because you're starting to see people pay for like seminars, and you're starting to see people buy like online training, and there's online coaches now in arm wrestling, right? They're charging money. So I think the sport's at the point where I don't know if you can completely make a living by it yet.
No.
But you can for sure make some money doing that stuff.
And I think that's where it's at. Not that I want to release my idea. But at the same time, it's fine. Nobody's doing that yet, right? Yeah, there's all these training videos and people are trying to do that, but you can only learn so much, right? You have to feel. And have you ever heard my whole thing about arm wrestling blindfolded?
No.
So try it.
Okay.
Because I've always said it, and I've never actually made anybody do it until one person, I'm not gonna be able to remember his name either. I can see him. You know that the guy from our group, the really tall Devon-esque looking guy, ex-military. He's got some tattoos on his neck now, and like
clean. Oh, Jaden?
Yeah, Jaden.
Okay.
Jaden, real good fucking armor. So he's got crazy potential, especially his fucking long arm and stuff like that. So I started teaching. I'm like, hey, look, we're gonna work on it. And he really appreciates it. He doesn't ask for it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like not outspoken, but like, so I started teaching him, and he was really appreciative of it. And it came up to I taught him something, and he was doing it, and then he stopped. He couldn't figure it out again, and I was like, dude, I'm like, you know this shit. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, you gotta feel it. Feel what I'm doing, so you can adjust. And he's like, he couldn't do it. I'm like, look, okay, this is one of those situations where I was like, I've talked about it a lot, but like blindfold. I just started talking about the aspect of blindfolding and feeling the pressures rather than looking and trying to react to them, because that doesn't work as well. You have to be able to feel them. You'll react so much faster. So the guy, I didn't even know, I'm doing it with them again, and I'm telling him the same stuff after I did my blindfold spiel, and he closed his eyes, and I didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. And then I look up, he's got his fucking eyes closed. And so we did it a few times. He's like, man, that really works. Like, that really worked for him, because he just understood it at a different level, right? You take the eyes out of it and you actually feel it, because again, you're going to react so much quicker to something you feel, or adjust to something you feel rather than what you see. When you watch a fucking arm wrestling tournament, it looks like the guys are all doing the same shit over and over and over again. Really. Like, different variations, but you know, now that you've been in the sport for a couple of years, that there's so much going on in there.
Oh yeah.
That you can't see, and you can't really teach. You have to feel it, and you have to be able to react to those feelings.
Well, some of the stuff you can see, but you have to almost watch it in slow motion and see frame by, especially the setup, right? And see how people are kind of like getting to do certain things. But yeah, no. But I think there's something more to it, because if you're cutting out certain senses, your other senses do heighten a little bit, right? So like your sense of feel will probably go up, whatever, even if it's just like a little bit, if you close your eyes or whatever. Yeah.
Try it.
No, I think so.
I'm going to start making people do it. I'm going to bring some fucking, those little those things we go to sleep
with
or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Become like the Mr. Miyagi of arm wrestling, eh? Wax on, wax off. So your plan, so you want to get more into like training arm wrestlers, you think?
Well, I think it's inevitable. Yeah. Honestly, like I can't do this all for the rest of my life, I don't think, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to be able to use my arms, okay? I don't want to be a raptor. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen as I get older? Am I going to get more injured? Am I just going to get better? I don't know. And I have other things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's tough, eh? It's like a balancing act.
100%.
Right? Where you gotta, but you look at guys like Crazy George, right? So you look at the longevity's there. I think if you want to, maybe the level that you're competing at's different.
Look at Crazy George though, but he doesn't arm wrestle that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see him at every event.
No, but you'll see him at like practices in Toronto and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like he's
I've
still
never really
there.
been, so
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. So that's always the thing. Like, there's been several times where I was like, I'm done. I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
I've been there, done it. I've had experienced it all. What am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think you should have a match with RVJ. I think you should do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And maybe Iraqli. Maybe do that one.
Oh, that sounds a good order too.
Yeah, in
Do
that order.
RVJ and then Iraqli.
Yeah.
We'll see. You never know.
Well, how much does Iraqli weigh, like walking around, you think?
I think he's same weight as I am.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting around 210.
Okay. So, and you mostly compete at like 205-ish around there?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like cutting, so anywhere as close to my natural weight as possible is great.
No,
but if it makes sense for me to cut weight, then I will, but not 198 is horrible.
Yeah.
But I'll do it.
Yeah. Because you're a pretty lean guy to begin with. Like, you're not like... Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not too fat. I don't have too much fat.
Yeah. See, me, I feel like I should be competing at like 170.
Well, what's your height? I think how you figure this out is that, when where do you go? I think the new blood pressure monitors, you go in there and they'll ask you for some additional weight.
Oh, okay,
the one I was on the other day, they asked me how tall I was and how tall I was and my age. And it actually did weigh me while I'm sitting on it.
Yeah.
And it told me I was obese.
Well, BMI, it's because it's using BMI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your BMI is like if you had a body with a skeleton and then just the normal amount of mass without ever moving, like you're like an incubator baby, like that's your BMI, right? Like it doesn't make any sense.
That's your healthy weight?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. Like I think,
know.
my healthy BMI would be like 140 or 150 or something. Man, I didn't weigh that since high school. And it's like,
that's true.
Even when I was my leanest. So this is back when I was fighting, I was walking around at like a high 180s, but I had like a 6-pack and shit. And it's like, yeah, like that was it. Like I was dieting and feeling like shit to make anything less than that. So like my walk around weight is like, when I'm not in shape at all, it's like 200. And it's like, I feel like I don't hold it too bad. Like,
no.
Yeah, but it's like,
especially now, I think you've leaned out a bit. You were a little heavier before. Huh?
Yeah, thanks for pointing it out.
Well, that's a positive thing, man.
No, I have. Yeah. I'm trying to get closer to like 185 again, but now I think I'm just above 190. But I've been as heavy as 220.
Holy,
which is like,
that's like the heaviest I've ever been.
Yeah, and I'm like 5 feet tall, right? So it's no. Well, I think I'm like 5'6", 5'7" on a good day.
It's like, wait, you're 5 feet? Holy shit! I never thought about it. I'm like, you're just you.
I don't gauge people's heights and stuff. Like it's a weird thing because some people are like super obsessed of height.
Yeah,
I remember the first time I met Devin, it didn't even click how tall he was. Like it's not.
I don't do that either. Like I don't really tear people's like things apart. Be like, oh, that's that guy. I just me. It sounds bad. But I'm a feelings guy. Whatever you're giving me, that's what I see. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're a good person, then I see that. I don't see that you're overweight and all this stuff.
Yeah, no.
I might notice, but I'm not like that's not my focus.
Yeah. No, and I'm kind of like similar in a way. Like I just don't pick up on some of those things.
Yeah.
But if you look at like your BMI, in my opinion, if you're like even remotely athletic, just throw it out. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think mine wanted me to be like 185 or something like that for my height and my
So it's like, and again, you're pretty lean right now, over 200, right? So I think everybody's a little bit different, and people's bones way different too, right? Like,
they say every 10 years your bones regrow. They basically regrow themselves.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so if you stay steady on something that's like taxing on your bones for 10 years, by then they'll actually have regrown and you'll have more mass to them.
So that's the secret to arm wrestling. I think so.
I think I don't know about tendons, because tendons is definitely really important for arm wrestling too.
Yeah, for sure.
And you need to put a lot of time in for that shit. So
I think this would be a cool test. If you could get a bunch of arm wrestlers at like different levels and like different physical attributes and like measure their bone densities like along their journey. Like measure their bone density in their arms at like year 1, then 2, and then 5, and then 10.
How do you even measure bone density? Do you have to like cut into people or take
No,
samples?
I think there's like, I think it's like an ultrasound type thing,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Where I think it's like it's like a pulse where they like send in the sound and then however long it takes to bounce back is like
Oh, okay,
figure it out maybe.
That makes sense.
Like I don't really know, but I know you can do it without like
No, you're right,
autopsies.
you're right. Yeah.
It's like how big was his bone density? He's like, oh, it's pretty high. Like can't test it anymore now though. Like it's
Jesus. Okay. Yep.
powerful. But yeah, man, like is there anything else you want to go over before
I don't know, man.
get out of here?
It's just this is such a nice place and like
Oh, thanks,
nice
man.
show.
Thanks, man.
It was good. It was actually you're good to talk to.
Yeah, thanks,
I
man.
appreciate
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So
Oh.
it flows pretty easy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
which is good.
yeah. The yeah, and I plan on doing this a lot more. It's just I have so much shit to do.
I
Like
get
my-
it. Life
yeah.
gets in the way.
Yeah. But is there anything you want to say to like your future opponents?
You're fucked.
Oh!
If I keep on the course that I'm on right now, you are all fucked. Power.
Yeah, let's end it on that. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
No
you.
problem. Thank
Boom.
you.
That was awesome.